Well, guys, I got, let's see, 1.8 hours on it right now. And man, I have some thoughts, so let's share them with you. All right, guys. So I got 1.8 hours on it, as you see, and 26 miles. So, man, there's definitely a lot of great things about this bike. I found a couple things that are a little quirky I don't like, easy fixes. So that's going to be with anything, just kind of more of like customizable to you type of things. So, and I'll go over those. So first, let's talk about the good. And there's a lot of good. So the things I love about it are all the main things that you want to be able to gel with the bike: chassis, suspension, and motor power characteristics. It is just the perfect balance of plushness and power in the motor and trail manners. It's just a wonderful trail bike, and that's exactly what I've been looking for. A bike that's it's a trail bike. You know what I mean? It's not a. All too often, manufacturers have this huge distinction between performance bikes for aggressive off-roading and basic beginner trail bikes like air-cooled, CRF 250Fs or KLX 230s, stuff like that. And then you have this big gap to like a WR Yamaha. And then the manufacturers just take their race bikes, and then they slightly detune them, and they valve the suspension a little bit softer and put a kickstand on them, an 18-inch rear wheel. And that's their, performance trail bike. Well, it's still not ultimately set up for trail riding for the average rider. It's all too often too stiff, too aggressive on the throttle, on roll-on. And those are common complaints, on the internet about a lot of bikes. This bike completely nails it. All of those things that frustrated me with some of the four-strokes that I've had are completely erased with this bike. I mean, I'm almost a little bit lost for words. And, if you guys watch any of my videos, I'm usually not a loss for words. I usually have plenty to say. But, man, the bike is just so good. And I first got on it yesterday. I did an hour on it. And then the first 5 minutes was like, okay, you're kind of getting the feel of being on something different. It's a little foreign to you. Inside of 10 minutes, I felt so comfortable on the bike that, it was just, I was giggling the whole time. It was just, let's start with the suspension. Let's start with the engine first, because that's the first thing I noticed. The minute I rolled out of my driveway, I was like, I said to myself, this is exactly what I'm looking for in terms of power, because obviously you don't know how much power it has, but in the way the power comes on in that moment, I was like, this is what I've been missing. The power rolls on like a gentle one of the gentle air-cooled bikes, but it's got all the power of a performance four-stroke. It's got just shy of 40 horsepower, which is really all you need for trail riding, and it's got gobs of torque at the bottom. It's just unbelievable. Like, you can roll onto it, and there's none of that, all that herky jerkiness that people complain about, like on the Japanese bikes, and even on some of the Austrian four-strokes. The Austrian 350s have it too, where it's like the throttle's kind of like on off at the bottom. That you don't have that with this bike, and it's just beta. That's their slogan, rideability. And does it come through big time in the way this thing performs. It's unbelievable in that regard. And then I'm still breaking it in, so I haven't really gotten on the power too much, but it's got all the power you need. You can carry the front tire up on this thing very easily. You can lift the front wheel over an obstacle. It's awesome. Really, really nice. Transmission wise, I'm loving the gearing. First gear is a pleasure. again, something that's all too often, first gears on a lot of bikes I've had have a lot of times been almost unusable. They're so low that you can't use them like in a sticky situation, and you're forced to kind of go up to second, and then you find yourself, like on my WR450, you kind of find myself in between gears a lot, between first and second. The first gear on this bike is so usable that if you come to a stop right before something and you're like, okay, I got to go down and up that, you could just click it in first and kind of cruise your way through it without feeling like the bike wants to rip your arms off because first gear's too low, or it's revving up too high. You can just really cruise through something on first gear. It's very, very usable. And then in terms of like the rest of the gearing, it's a 6-speed. Fifth and sixth are very tall. So you get on a connecting trail or a fire road, and you just want to cruise 45, 50. You click it up in fifth and sixth. It'll just lug. I mean, really low RPMs. Coming through this trail I just came in out, I mean, the shifter could have fell off and I wouldn't even have known it, because you can almost just ride it third or fourth gear and never downshift and just go through the whole trail that way. It lugs so good that I yesterday when I first started riding it, I was almost coming to a stop and not realizing I was in fourth gear still. And then I go to take off and be like, oh wow, I need to downshift here, because it just lugs so well and doesn't flame out that you don't realize what gear you're in when you come to a stop. So I'm really enjoying that. The gearing, the motor, A++ so far. Suspension, I mean, it's just what I've been looking for. The plushness and hold up, the combination of it has been remarkable so far in the short time I've been on it. And then it's, as you can see, the ground's a little damp. So we've had a ton of rain the last few days. So the trails are all washed out. So there's a lot of water bars running across the trails and ruts. And it just eats that stuff up like a pillow. And it's even one thing I noticed too with the suspension is like the stutter bumps, the braking bumps and the stutter bumps, like that stuff used to beat the hell out of me on some other bikes. Like that would always be something where it was rough. You don't even feel them on this thing. It's that good. And I have it at, the suspension is all at base settings. So I in the owner's manual, whatever the stock settings were, that's why I made sure that it was set to front and rear. I slowed down the rebound in the front like two clicks yesterday, but I gave one click back today. It feels really good. So it's basically at stock settings. Yesterday I found this area where it was like a little bit of a, I don't know if you guys can hear that. A bunch of cattle over there mooing away. But there was like this little plateau area. There's maybe 2 or 3 foot drop off, flat landing. And then you can kind of do a step up on it coming back the other way. So I was kind of practicing that with the bike. And my God, the suspension just eats stuff up. It's so good. I'm loving it. So the combination, chassis, suspension, engine those are the big things, you know, and that's what you're paying for essentially. Some of the other little stuff, which I'm not 100% sure I like, or easy fixes. So I'm loving the bike so far. Those are my initial thoughts on the engine, suspension. I think if you're looking at one of these bikes, a 350 or 390 Beta or something like that, I would go with if you're a trail rider, go with the X Pro. I don't think you need the race. The race is going to sit up a little taller, and the suspension is going to be a lot stiffer, which you don't need. If you want comfort on the trail, I think this is the bike to get. I have zero regrets right now. There's not a part of me that's like, I don't know if might be too much power, or I don't know if it's not enough power, or whatever it is. There's none of those thoughts crossing my mind. I love the suspension and the motor, and those are the two main things you worry about when you buy a bike, because you just don't know. And those things have exceeded expectations, honestly, because I was a little bit not sure about a 350. Everybody says they're really soft on the Betas, and it is. The roll-on and the power is so linear and smooth that you don't realize you have 40 horsepower there, because it's just so smooth, the power of the roll-on. And so, but there's more than enough power for anything you need to do. So it's really good. Torque is awesome. We'll talk about a couple of the things I don't like. The front tire sucks. Now, I mentioned in my reveal video, the tires are a weird European, like on-road, off-road tire. The back one is actually not that bad. And I thought the back would be a problem because the lugs, the tires are rigid. But you'll see at 1.8 hours even, they look like you could have just took them off the rack on the shelf. There's like nothing worn off them. It's crazy. So they are hard tires for sure. So on rocks, they're probably going to not do well. But out here in the soft stuff and out in these trails that I'm riding right now, they're working well. And I've gotten into some slop, as you can see, the mud. It's handled that stuff terrific. No problems there. I'm running about 10 pounds in the back. The front tire is a different story. And you'll see, I'm going to show you. It looks, I mean, front tires always stay looking newer than the rears, but this thing is, you can still see the mold lines in the middle. If I can get it to focus. I don't know if you guys can see those. Yeah, there you go. Like right there. These things are like a rock, like in terms of the treads don't even move. And I've just had a couple of moments already where I feel like the front tire wants to wash out. There's not much grip with these front tires. So this is going to have to go. This front tire is going to have to go. Like one of the first things to do. And I'm not going to do the front and not do the rear. So I'll probably just get a matching set of tires and do ultra heavy duty tubes so I can run lower pressures. And I'm thinking about doing a fatty in the front, like a 100, and then just like a regular, 110, 100 or a 120, 90 in the back, not the 140, 80 that's on there. And I'm thinking about AT82s, front and rear. I've heard that's a really good combination tire, good do-it-all, everything tire, which is kind of what I'm looking for. The other thing I'm not a fan of is the shifter. Sucks. I don't know if it sucks or maybe I just have to get used to it, but I feel like there's no grip. Like the shifter itself is so smooth. I feel like it's my boot more or less slides off it when I'm shifting up, rather than I feel like a good connection with the shifter. So I may have to get a nicer shifter. If any of you guys have betas and recommend a shifter that you've replaced with and yet you like, and alleviates that feeling, or if you know what I'm talking about, leave a comment below, please. And then, so that'll be something I'm looking to do. Aside from that, those are my only two gripes. Let's talk about the seat for a minute, because they say the seats are softer than previous years. And I say they are. Definitely softer than previous year betas. They're still a little bit hard. I haven't found it abusive yet, though. And obviously I've only got 1.8 hours on it. So when I really get out and do a really big, long trail ride, I'll be able to tell more. But I would like the bike to be a little bit, I would like to touch the ground a little bit easier. So even with this 36.5 inch seat height, whatever it's supposed to be, it's still a stretch, sometimes when you're turning around on a trail or whatever to dab and touch the ground. And so, for short guys like me. So I may do a low seat, and I may do, I considering doing the Seat Concepts low comfort seat, which is like wider towards the back and it's lower. Considering that seat, I'm probably gonna do that. The exhaust on this thing, that you heard the FMF in the beginning, it's perfect. I mean, it's got a real nice sound to it. It's got a real nice thump, but it's not overbearing where you're like, oh my God, I can't take this all day on the drill. You can cruise past, some people camping or what have you, and at a nice low RPM, and it'll just putt right past, and it's not loud. And then when you get on it, it's got a nice thump. It's the Q4, so it's not the factory 4.1. So this is a lot quieter than the 4.1, and it's absolutely perfect. They have a different tip in the ones designed for the betas, which has like a little turn down on it. It's still the same as any other Q4, but for some reason, I think it's because they could put them on the RS, which has the taillights. So they put a little turn down on it to keep the exhaust from the taillight on the street models. But it's the same size opening. They just have a little bit of a turn down on it, which isn't bad. It doesn't bother me. If that really bothers you, you can take this tip out and get the spark arrestor, the generic spark arrestor one that goes in there. It's going to be the same size opening. You just want to have that little turn down piece, which that doesn't bother me at all. It sounds terrific, which is what I wanted. I don't know how much power it gives. I'm assuming it gives you some more torque in ponies, because the dealer did say he needed to install a different map with the FMF than the stock muffler. I have the stock muffler home. I'll show you in another video. And if you look down the end of it, it is super restrictive. So this obviously is going to flow a lot better. And so what he has installed on mine in terms of maps, he said it's called the Open Map. I don't know what that means. It's just the name for one of the maps that Beta provides, called the Open Map. It's just a richer map designed for either a slip-on, higher flowing pipe muffler, or a full exhaust. So this map would work fine if I wanted to change the header too, which I'm not going to do. I have no desire for any more power or anything like that. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect in that department. So super happy with that stuff. Waiting to do like my big dual sport kind of rides that I do until my plate comes in, which I've only had the bike for a couple days. So that's going to be a little bit, and we'll get the plate on. What's nice too is, I told you guys in the walk around video, but you have a brake light. It's a tail light, brake light, and it has a license plate lamp on the bottom. So if you're riding that in the dark, you're legal. You put turn signals on this thing, you're full street legal. You can see I took the turn signal switch block off the bottom and unplugged it from behind the mask, just to clean it up on the bars. So now I just have the headlight switch, the horn, and that's it on the side. Map switch, start stop. The clutch is awesome. Brembo hydraulic clutch, can't beat that. Best in the game. That's what they use on the KTMs and the Betas, KTMs and the Huskies rather. And Betas always use the Brembo hydraulic. The brakes are Nissan brakes, so same as you'd get on the Japanese bikes, and they're very good. The Nissan brakes, like I mentioned in other videos on other bikes, are a lot more grabby than a Brembo. So you just have to be a little bit more conscious when you're grabbing your front brake. It'll lock up a lot sooner than it will on a Brembo, which you can kind of modulate a little bit easier. You can drag your front brake on here and not have to worry about it, locking it up. But you just once you get past a certain point, it'll lock up easier than the Brembo brakes do. But stopping power is money. Rear brake feels great. I like even the way the brake pedal is right out of the box is set up perfect for me. It's slightly higher than my foot peg, which I like. This way I can kind of get to it a little bit easier when I'm standing, if I have to, which is something I've been working on. That's one of the skills I'm trying to develop, is kind of being able to feather my rear brake while standing. That's an art in and of itself on the dirt bikes, believe it or not. So the wheels, I don't think I mentioned this in the walk around. It's got Excel, comes with the Excel wheels. It's a shame these tires suck, because I kind of like the way they look, and with the yellow writing, the Maxxis. Sounds dorky, but I like those little things that pop. But yeah, the tires are going to have to go. Again, the front's way worse than the rear. So we're going to get another 1.2 hours on it, get it to around the 3-hour mark. That's when they want the first fluid change done. And then we'll get the fluid changed. After the first hour yesterday, before I went out today, I did have to adjust the chain. It had gotten a little bit loose, stretched out. You always get an initial stretch on any chain. So I adjusted that before I went out, and she's good now. Fan seems to work. It's hardly come on. Only when I warmed it up and set the stepper motor for the first time did I just let it let it idle for like 10 or 12 minutes until the stepper motor sets to adjust the air idle. And the fan kicks on then. But out in the trails, it hasn't kicked on once on me at all. So that's good. These new Betas have a overflow tank. So if you boil over your radiator a little bit, in between the frame and the frame there, you can't see it, but you see the hose. It goes up between the frame rail and between the two radiators, and there's a little overflow tank. It's about that big. So it'll catch the overflow, and then it's kind of just like your car, or your ATV, and it'll just suck it back in as it cools off. So you don't actually lose fluid, which is really nice. Radiator cap comes on and off real easy. That seems to be a complaint with the plastic ones on the KTM and the Huskies, which they are hard to get off on those bikes. They're not as hard as people make them out to be. I think some people maybe have weak hands, but I've never had a problem getting off my old one. But this one comes off really easy. It's like an automotive style. So I checked. That's another thing I checked, was make sure the radiator fluid was topped off good. Went through the bike. Everything seems good. Nothing loose. Gil did a great job greasing everything up. Even when I adjusted the chain, the jam nuts had grease on them in the back, so they don't seize. So really good job by them, Manic Moto. Check them out. And that's it for this one, guys. I don't want to ramble. I did want to give you guys my first impressions on the bike. And man, it is a really, really good one. So I'm going to get back out there, get a little bit more time on the bike, do the first fluid change, and check the air filter. And we'll pick up with you guys. I'll get you on the helmet, and we'll do a full ride review of it. Probably the next video with the bike, maybe another week from this video drop. So hope you guys enjoying your day. And smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't. It's Joe with Odyssey Off-Road. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook as well. And we'll catch you guys later.